Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whenever you're watching this video, I appreciate the support, cuzzies. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. In today's video, we're going to be going over Bitcoin. I'm going to be giving you a window to my thought process. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. A lot of you are funny, man. Messaging me for like the past week or two saying, yo, you all right? I haven't seen you. Let's hope you're still making YouTube videos. Brothers and sisters, I want to keep everyone in the mix. I'm not a content creator. I say this all the time, right? Like, I'm making these videos instead of writing a book, plain and simple, right? And I'm trying to teach you my process, because if I die tomorrow, then all this knowledge that I have, I can't pass it on to nobody, right? So for 12 days, we were literally staying in the same technical analysis trend that I said a week and a half ago. We're making lower highs with the same lows, and nothing changes until something changes, right? Meaning, this is why I'm making a video now, something changed, right? Two things changed, which are now giving me a bearish sentiment, okay? So let's go over the chart and then we'll go into it, right? Right now, this is a rounding bottom. This is a rounding bottom since 2021, the high of 70,000, right? We were making lower lows touching this rounding bottom. The rounding bottom then continued when we hit the 17.5, 15.5 level. Little jab to everyone remembers those levels from me, right? So we went from 15,000, came up, we bounced to set 25,000. We went up, we came down, we bounced to 39,000. We went up, we came down, and now we're here. We are at this pivotal point where are we going to have a continuation to the upside, okay? So you need to look at key factors that will give you ideas or will give you insight if we're leaning that way, okay? So I always tell you long-term trends predict short-term outcomes. What I mean by that is I always evaluate the longer time frames first, and if I'm seeing hidden bullish or hidden bearish or just plain bullish or bearish divergence, I bet with that on the shorter time frames, okay? So as of right now, this is the first real tippy top red candle since September 2023. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green months. Eventually, cuzzy, you have consolidations. And what do you use to figure out when the asset is extremely overbought or oversold? Well, I use an RSI. I use an RSI to figure out when the asset is extremely overbought or extremely oversold. Now, let's evaluate the RSI. Bitcoin's bull markets have always ended in these levels here, okay? All the way up here around the 80 to, let's just say, the 90 something level. Now, in the previous videos, we've noticed that yes, we are making lower highs, but we still have a ton of room to grow until we are extremely overbought. So because we have room to grow until we're extremely overbought, we're expecting what's happening now on the weekly chart and the daily charts, these little swing trades, to be a consolidation. Now, in what needs to happen in order for this to stay above the rounding bottom is we need to stay bullish on the RSI. And what do I mean by that? When something is bullish, the waves are making higher lows and higher highs. Everything in life happens in waves. If you're doing good, though, you're doing this, okay? If you're doing okay, you're doing this, and you're going sideways. If you're not doing good, you're doing this, and things are going bad each time. They're getting worse and worse and worse. As of right now, since June, July, August of 2022, the monthly RSI swings have been making higher lows and higher highs. Unfortunately, these type of moves stop when you hit certain key levels on the RSI, one being the 70. Yes, we could go way above that, but we want to see if this swing is going to be a continuation to the upside. The most important thing in this swing right here, from here to here, is this low right here of 62.56, because technically, if the monthly does come down and have a higher low, technically, to the 62.10, this could be a continuation to the upside, because technically if you make a higher low, you could then make a higher high. Now, what needs to happen in order for this to be a trend reversal? We need to break this level. If we break this level, we're coming down and we're retesting the moving average, and then after that we could break the moving and retest the 50. So that's why you could see I have an alert here on the monthly chart at the 63.95 notifying me that poo-poo is hitting the fan. Now, another thing I'm noticing is this is the first monthly candle on the MACD, which is a momentum indicator, that volume is coming down. Obviously, I could have told you that, right? I mean, once again, something goes from 15,000 to 70,000, an RSI from 30 to 70, and everyone thinks it's going to go way higher because of the news. And once again, F the news, trust the charts. So, another thing that I've noticed, and the alert went off, and this is why I'm making a video, is because the weekly, right? So, the monthly, I also want to point something out. The monthly was above the 70. There are 4 sections on the RSI. There is section A plus, there is section A, there is section B plus, there's actually this is section B, and this is section B minus, okay? They each tell you what is going to happen, whether the waves are happening here, 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 or here. You could see you can use the 70 as support, you could use the 50 as support, you could use the 30 as support, or you could use the 30 as resistance. If you use the 70 as support, or as support, or as support, you have very bullish continuations to the upside. Unfortunately, the first alert that went off was the 70, showing me that now, because we are no longer in section A plus, there is room to bleed. And because there's room to bleed on a monthly chart, that shows me that the weekly chart should have more bearish outcomes. Okay? Now, if you remember, we had an alert here on the weekly chart around the 66 level. Okay? The reason being is because, once again, this chart has been making higher lows and higher highs since June 2022. And we want to see, right, the main question, are we going to stop at the rounding bottom, or are we not going to stop at the rounding bottom? And I've been saying for literally months now, if and when we do break the rounding bottom, as long as the monthly RSI continuously makes a higher low and stays above the moving average, we remain bullish, right? This is just a healthy consolidation. And this would go from a rounding bottom to potentially a cup and handle, right? If the longer term trend is bullish, you're going to see continuation patterns and bullish patterns playing out in the price action, in the candlesticks. If your long-term trend is bearish, you're going to see more bearish continuation patterns. You're going to see descending triangles. You're going to see bear flags. You're going to see double tops. You're going to see triple tops, right? If you're bullish, you're going to see double bottoms. You're going to see W patterns. You're going to see ascending triangles, right? So stuff like that, right? So here we are, and you can see I have an alert. We've broken. Okay, let's backtrace. We've broken the recent support. So now what I'm looking at is, where is the next support level on this time frame? And usually it's going to be previous resistance. And I was looking at this before. This level right here. It's a range. Okay, so you have to realize that 58.05 is a range. It could go to the 55.21. It could go to 61.93. It's a range. So what I'm going to do, because I saw this low here, I saw this consolidation here, I saw this resistance here, I saw this resistance here, I saw this support, 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 resistance, 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 support, resistance, resistance, right? So I'm assuming the 58.05 level range could be the next major support level on the weekly. Now, during bull markets, meaning the monthly RSI and MACD are bullish, making higher highs, higher lows, the weekly chart usually uses the 11 and 21 day moving average as support. As of right now, we have officially broken the 11-day moving average. What usually happens is, once you break one, you go to the next. The next support is the 21-day around 56,000, and then after that is the 31-day around 52,536. Like I said, literally weeks ago, right? Now, the most important thing, if we do start breaking down, the rounding bottom has to be deleted, right? I say it all the time. Trend is your friend till the end. Once the trend breaks and we start seeing something like this and this sideways, I have to delete the rounding bottom, and then we could be doing a cup and handle, right? Like I said, because as long as the monthly remains bullish, we're expecting a bullish pattern to continuously play out on the weekly. So a rounding bottom, yes, it could break, and now we're going somewhat sideways. But as long as we stay above the 52.2 over here, above this most recent low 40,000, and we stay sideways, then eventually we could break out towards the end of the year, like I think towards the 85 to the 100,000 level. That's really the technical analysis, folks, right? I posted in the Discord, links in the description. We still haven't broken the 59,000. And until we break 59,000, unfortunately, we're still in this trend, right? We're still in this support, support, support. We need to see if we're going to find support, right? What I do see is if we do stop here, this would be a higher low to here. And I do see this somewhat W pattern playing out. I told the Discord that we could find support here and go back to the 66 to potentially the 67, 68,000. If we do find support right here, then yes, this would be a small dead cat bounce back to, I'd say, 65 to 67,000. And then if we see rejection again, once again, this is the most important thing. This downtrend resistance line is helping the weekly and the monthly break down. And once again, if we do break down, this is a measured move, right? So here you would take right here from the flag, go to the breakdown, break us right down to your next liquidation zone of 50,000 to 52,000. And then what should happen, right, you would do something like this. Then you have a dead cat bounce, because once again, there's hundreds of people that are asking me, when should I buy Bitcoin? When should I buy Bitcoin? When should I buy? It's all based off risk reward. I told one of my close friends, I was like, listen, not financial advice, but if I'm expecting a 20 to 30% dip, you keep 30% or 35% on the side. If you're putting $1,000 in, put $650 in Bitcoin, right? So if we do stop here and we do go to 80,000, you have the majority of your money in. But you're protecting your portfolio, where if it was to go down to the 50s or 55, you have cash to buy. And then I would expect it to come back up, retest right here. This would be a double negative apex moment, right? Because this rounding bottom has been used as support, and if it's used as resistance, as well as the orange trend line resistance right here back at 66,000, right? So I'm expecting another 15%, let's just say, down. And then if you buy at extreme oversold and it goes back to the 64 to the 66,000, you're making another 25% out of Bitcoin. Is insane for the alts, right? So I'm not buying, once again, not financial advice, but you learn that you watch what Bitcoin does to trade the alts. It's just that simple, right? Because it's all based off ROI. If I'm looking at a screen and I have an hour or two to trade, let's just say, and they're all moving, if Bitcoin's doing 20%, a coin like, I'm not, just a speculation, Solana or Link, or a top 100 coin with a lower circulating supply, not like XRP or anything like that, should do more percentage in the same time frame. Like most people who like to trade Bitcoin will do Ethereum, because you're going to usually get like a 10-15% more percentage play out of it. It's just it is what it is. And the reason that I could say this confidently, this whole move right here is 28%. I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and I was like, listen, like I tell you guys, the best thing you could do is look left. And this consolidation right here with this cup and handle that I was in back in 2014, this was, once again, an 87% drop from Bitcoin after a post-halving. You have this insane 200% to potentially 153%. And then you have a rounding bottom that broke into a 29% consolidation. And now, literally years later, it's just a bigger rounding bottom that potentially could break. And what are the odds that from the top down to the 52,000 is literally 28, 29%? That's all the confluence I need. And now you just need to set alerts, right? So I have my alert here at 66.9. I have the alert just broke at the 62. The most important one is here, 59.7, because that's the bottom of the wicks, right? So once you break the wicks and break all that liquidity, we're falling to 57.127. Then we're falling to 54.636, but major supports really at 53,000. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. Once again, if I'm not making videos, just message me on Discord. I could always just do a quick technical analysis, send you guys a picture or something like that. But in order for me to make videos, I'm not doing it. The same technical analysis that I said here is literally here, and now it's playing out. And once again, I'm able to do these things because I trust the charts over people. And that's the type of process that I'm trying to teach you guys. Enjoy the day. Love you. Set your alerts. Get your cash ready.